In today's video, we're going to be diving into the upcoming pattern, which we're going to take a look at. First, it is looking more active. We have colder air on the way, and we actually have more of it expected than even in yesterday's video, so there is so much to go over. The tropics are blowing up, and we have a brand new disturbance that we are extremely concerned about, so we need to dive into that towards the end of the video. There is so much to go over, but before we do, let's talk about Prestige Weather real quick. It is in the description and pinned comment down below. It's only $5 a month, and we do early access to all of our seasonal and monthly forecasts over there. So we have our total snowfall forecast, what you can kind of expect as far as snowfall amounts. We are releasing our first freeze video today over there, so you can gain access to that. Among other things, we also do weather consulting. So there is so much to gain access to over there. Again, it's only $5 a month, and it's in the description and pinned comment down below. Let's get into things, and as you can see, we're taking a look here at the upcoming storminess, and we're taking a look at this afternoon here on Sunday on this beautiful, beautiful Labor Day weekend. It's beautiful for a lot of you. You know, it's very hot outside for many, but you can come back inside and it's very cold. My AC decided to break yesterday, so I am not as blessed as hopefully most of you are. But I will have it fixed. It is currently 80 degrees in my house as I record this video, so I'm going to try to remain in good spirits, but believe me, I don't feel that amazing. As you can see, we do have plenty of storms firing up here for a lot of the west, both for areas in Canada here and for areas in the western United States. So we're seeing a lot of storms firing up for these areas. We also see some more tropical type thunderstorms surging for a lot of the Mississippi River area here. So we're seeing a lot of that as well. Let's keep going. As you can see, by the time we reach Monday, actually Labor Day afternoon here on the 4th, we do have some thunderstorms firing up still for the Northwest, the Northern Rockies, and some of the Northern Plains here, as there is a 995 millibar low pressure center developing. We also have some thunderstorm activity around for a lot of these areas. Texas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee here. So we are seeing many different states dealing with these thunderstorms firing up. But in general, I mean, we do have some quieter areas here for Labor Day, like the Southwest through a lot of the kind of plains here, as you can see. So many areas there in some of the Pacific Northwest, especially as you reach further and further away from the coast. These are some of the nicer areas. And then areas along the eastern seaboard and for the Great Lakes here, also dealing with pretty good weather. So I would say a very large area here is dealing with some nicer weather there for Labor Day. Let's keep going, and as you can see, for Tuesday the 5th here, we do see this low has decreased down to 1001 millibar low pressure center, but we are seeing some thunderstorms to the north for this one and for the south for this one as well. Usually it's to the south and east that you want to watch very closely, so we will be watching for some severe weather here for states like Louisiana, Arkansas, Missouri, here through a lot of the Ohio Valley as well. We're seeing some of this, so there is multiple different areas dealing with some of these conditions. For Wednesday the 6th here, we could see 1003 over Wisconsin, so the Great Lakes, Ohio Valley, upper Midwest here dealing with some thunderstorm activity as a result of that low that we've seen tracking across the nation. For Thursday here, it is reaching further eastward here, so 1005, we see plenty of different thunderstorm areas here, different states dealing with some thunderstorms. And really, as you take a look to the west of this area that I just drew in, we do see quieter conditions, so it is going to be pretty nice for many different folks here. By the time we reach Friday the 8th here, we can see that the eastern seaboard, a lot of the Ohio Valley, and down through the deeper south, we are seeing a lot of thunderstorms firing up. So Friday does look like a stormier day here. There is also some isolated and scattered about activity for a lot of these areas in Montana, Idaho, Wyoming, as well as Nebraska there. We're seeing some of these areas dealing with some thunderstorm activity, of course. For Saturday here on the 9th, we do see some thunderstorms for different areas. It's weird. We have these little blobs of thunderstorms popping up here on the model. They do look quite intense, actually. And then still kind of the northeast and mid-Atlantic, we're seeing some thunderstorm activity for a lot of these areas. Kind of looks like a paw print here. Very interesting. By the time we reach Sunday here on September 10th, we're seeing some thunderstorms for the plains here. Again, potential for severe weather as we reach kind of into the second severe weather season, or tornado outbreak season, if you will. During the fall time, we do see a little bit of a resurgence of a lot of that activity oftentimes. We see Areas in Washington State, Oregon, and then British Columbia, they're dealing with some rainfall and even snowfall here for the mountaintops. Very early season snowfall for a lot of areas. Along the northeast, we're still seeing some pretty stormy conditions here as well. Let's just keep going, and by the time we reach Monday, the 11th here of September, we do see that there is this pocket here of general storminess taking place for a lot of areas east of the Rockies. So for the plains, the upper Midwest, the Great Lakes here, we're seeing lots and lots of thunderstorms firing up. Now, for the Northeast here, we do see some isolated and scattered thunderstorm activity prevailing for a lot of states like Pennsylvania, New York, and then the rest of New England there as well. Pretty much every single New England state seeing some sort of rainfall or thunderstorms taking place there on the 11th. For Tuesday the 12th, I want you to take note of this major hurricane potentially here north of Dominican Republic and Haiti, and we are going to be watching this one very closely because there's really nothing stopping this from being a potential East Coast impact storm. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen, but we will be watching that extremely closely. Wednesday, September 13th, we see this one just really strengthening, being very weak though, or very slow, I meant to say, not weak. It does look very strong here, but very slow moving storm according to this model. I kind of drew this in wrong, but we do have this kind of linear area of storms taking place, slanting across the nation, starting in Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas, working its way all the way through kind of the Ohio Valley here, even into the northeast. So we're seeing these pockets of thunderstorms around this area. Definitely going to be something to watch as we see activity kind of picking back up according to the models here for the upcoming pattern. Now, the total precipitation here, we can see we're seeing a bit more. There's definitely a couple of areas dealing with some above average activity potentially. So we're seeing areas here for the Rockies down through the plains, the Midwest through the Great Lakes, and then the Mid-Atlantic up through the Northeast. We're seeing lots and lots of rainfall here. Anywhere in the reds, as a rule of thumb, is going to be our above average areas, and that's where we're dealing with potentially 2 to 5 inches of rainfall. So certainly a very, very high amount of rainfall here for many different folks, as we're seeing more storms move across the nation than we've seen recently. So especially later on in the pattern. So I think that the activity in general for September is going to pick back up. Now, the temperature pattern here, we do see this warm up. So guys, please have me in your thoughts and prayers as my AC is broken as this heat wave kind of just moves in. Perfect timing, right? Hopefully I can get it fixed before that. But we see that this really doesn't last as long as we originally anticipated. Already by the 7th, 9th, 10th, 11th time frame here, what we see happening is a positive PNA trying to reestablish itself out west. And then we see more and more signals of cold moving into the east here as we move on with this model run. I actually want to refresh it here because I think we're going to get a little bit more range. Yeah, we're going to get the full range here. So as we keep going, we get towards about the 13th, and look at this, a very, very strong kind of Arctic air mass that has moved down from the Arctic regions of Canada down into the eastern regions of the United States, the north central regions as well, and then the eastern regions of Canada. Pretty far stretching and pretty intense. This is an ensemble model and it's beyond 200 hours, but we're still seeing some pretty strong cold signals here. So this is pretty indicative of a very strong cold air mass for this time of year, and I would not be surprised if we see some very, very fall-like conditions here from this type of a cool down. And if you watched yesterday's video, we said maybe after the 15th is when to expect this, but now we're seeing like the 12th, 13th time frame. So it's starting earlier and it's looking more intense than originally anticipated. We see that really things, average out later on, but I want to pay attention to this mostly. We do still see very strong warmer temperatures out west here, indicating a positive PNA. We see more neutral temperatures here in the east. And again, it's an ensemble model, and this is many days out. And I certainly would want to say that this is probably going to look a lot colder than this in the east by this time frame, and we could be dealing with some back-to-back cool downs here if we can get stuck in a pattern like this positive PNA, which again stands for Pacific North American Oscillation. All that means is warmer temperatures out west that encourage colder temperatures to be able to move into the east. That's exactly what we see here. Now, as we take a look at the tropics, we can see we have Tropical Storm Gert, Tropical Storm Katia there, but this is the main concern. We have a 50% chance of development over the next 2 days, but a 90% chance over the next 7 days. So there's extremely high odds that we see this one develop. And look at that trajectory just to the north of Puerto Rico, perhaps. just to the north of Haiti and Dominican Republic, heading towards the Bahamas, and this could move into the Gulf. It can move offshore of the East Coast, or it could hit the East Coast. There's definitely a wide variety of possibilities with this one, but the only thing we know at this point is that development is very, very likely, and the trajectory is not looking good. So we are going to be on high alert with this one, to say the least. We do have another area of disturbance here. 0% chance over the next 2 days, but a 30% chance over the next 7. We will be watching this one as well, but with the current projections of trajectory, I don't see this one really being a threat to the areas in North America, perhaps, but as of now, I can't really say that's what we expect. Now, Tropical Storm Gert here, expected to die out over the North Atlantic, of course. We see that this one really dissipates after about 8 a.m. tomorrow, so not going to last too long. Katia here maybe lasting through into Tuesday, but really becoming a post-tropical cyclone and then pretty much just breaking up. We can see it just moves back and forth within this little area, so no real threat here either. Just felt like it was maybe worth mentioning. Now, we're going to do a little bonus thing here. We usually don't dive into this much, but this is for our disturbance here in the Atlantic. Is the current spaghetti model guidance, and as you can see, if you were to just draw a range of where these are showing the possible track, it looks very narrow, and it has this trajectory again just to the north of Puerto Rico, which usually is a very favorable area and a pretty bad trajectory as far as the United States goes. And again, I can't iterate this enough, but we're definitely on high alert for this one for not only the Caribbean, but pretty much the entire Gulf and East Coast of the United States need to be on high alert with this one. So we're going to be tracking this daily. Here's the intensity guidance, and as you can see, we really just see a straight up trajectory in this intensity, maybe going towards category 1, category 2, category 3 within the next 5 days. We even have a couple here showing category 4 or 5. So this one looks to be a monster hurricane potentially, and that trajectory is not good at all. So all signs are pointing towards a very dangerous storm with this one. Definitely nothing is telling me that this is something we don't need to worry about. I certainly think this is one that we need to watch every single day extremely closely because it's drawing a lot of red flags. So we will be watching it extremely closely here on the channel daily with you guys. Be sure to tune in as we will keep you guys up to date with the latest. We do upload every single day, so be sure to subscribe for more weather-related content just like this one every single day. You can even hit the bell icon for daily notifications when we upload so you never miss one. Be sure to like the video if you did enjoy it, leave a comment down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video.